Today in crypto, Bitcoin could be in for a big boost as the S&P 500 hits a golden cross. So this is a technical indicator which may prove wildly bullish for the stock markets and thus for Bitcoin. The trending correlation between the two markets, it is hard to ignore, and is also a double-edged sword, because while a golden cross is statistically a very bullish move, massive headwinds in the equity markets could derail those markets and Bitcoin right along with it. My name is Lark, and this is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening out here in the wild, wild land of crypto. So let's start off by talking about Bitcoin. I'm not even going to open the chart. Nothing's happening over there. Nothing at all. You're boring Bitcoin. We're still waiting for Bitcoin to do something significant and break out of its sideways action. The real story, of course, continues to be altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is continuing to fall as altcoins continue to trend higher. The more that Bitcoin dominance drops, the more altcoins gain market share. We have a significant area of support for Bitcoin dominance at 62%, but if that breaks, then I fully expect that we will see a continued altcoin rally for the next few months, possibly even longer. The more gains that we make in altcoins, the more investors are lured in because the market looks hot and people like hot markets. Right now, Chainlink, speaking of hot markets, it is in full price discovery mode, smashing past $7. Chainlink is the new standard. Makes me wonder if the next stop for Chainlink will be $10. Never underestimate Chainlink and the continued need for reliable oracles in the DeFi niche and all of the nerdy people who think that that is really, really important, because it is really important. Anyway, the next Chainlink-like run from a major crypto that I am watching for is actually Tezos. Now, as you can see, it is currently in a strong uptrend. Now, if this trend continues, then we can really smash that resistance at around 40,000 Satoshis. Then new price discovery for Tezos would not surprise me in the least, considering the current market momentum that is pushing up so many boats right now. Stellar Lumens is continuing to make strong moves as well. It's up over 20% since the call in last week's newsletter. Right now we are consolidating above previous resistance. Now a retest of that level of resistance, flipping it into support, so a retest around 950 sats. That would be a strong technical move if we even do move back down there. But with that market momentum being just so bullish right now for altcoins, a farther move up, now that we have broken that serious downtrend that Stellar was in, seems like a likely possibility. Personally, I am right now long on both Stellar and on Tezos. And also something that I want to mention for you to keep an eye on is Bancor. Now, I talked about this in last week's newsletter, so Wealth Mastery members, they already got the scoop on Bancor, but this is definitely one to have on your radar for the rest of the month of July. Bancor and their V2 upgrade, it could just be a significant price catalyst for Bancor and could move Bancor a lot higher, considering, of course, the continued hype that we're seeing around decentralized finance, and that Bancor has got a significantly lower market cap relative to other major DeFi protocols like Kyber and Aave and Synthetics. A big thank you to PrimeXBT for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you want to trade beyond the crypto markets, then it is a top option for traders looking for a wider range of options. You can trade gold, you can trade oil, you can trade Forex, you can trade cryptocurrencies, and yes, most interestingly, for those of you watching the stock markets right now, you can trade stock indexes, including the S&P 500 and other popular indexes. PrimeXBT is a Bitcoin first exchange, meaning that you can get exposure to traditional markets using Bitcoin, and it's all done without requiring any KYC, and generous leverage is on offer for experienced traders. Now, PrimeXBT is only for traders who understand how to properly manage the risk and have experience in trading. There is a link down below where you can learn more. Now, before we jumped into the main topic today, I did want to just take a quick moment to discuss that recent tsunami of the giveaway scams that are happening on YouTube right now. It's hitting all channels. They're super annoying. And it's shocking that Google ads and that YouTube are completely asleep at the wheel on this right now. You're seeing ads pop up. Potentially even you saw one before this video at some point during this video. It's absolutely crazy. As a creator, I have no control over that. Google Ads is unfortunately responsible. Right now, all we can really do is to report this. And it's not just crypto channels. I saw one on Graham Stefan's channel today too, so it's just all over the place. And it's like cutting the head off a Hydra, man. These guys just keep popping back up. But I wanted you to be aware, no one's giving away free Bitcoin on the internet, so please don't believe these. Just report them when you see them, and hopefully it's a short-lived phenomena, and we can get back to things as usual. Okay, now let's move on to the main topic of today, Bitcoin and its continued correlation to the equity markets, which I strongly believe is a big double-edged sword for cryptocurrency investors. So, Bitcoin has reached a now record high correlation to the S&P 500, which is why we're revisiting this topic today. Now, the first chart that I want to show you is from Skew. Now, it shows both 1 month and 1 year Bitcoin versus S&P 500 correlation. The correlation, as you can see obviously on the chart here, is reaching very, very high levels. And then I have this other chart here from Coinmetrics, which shows that the correlation has seen a very, very big increase recently. Now on this scale, it is at 0.367, which is not actually overwhelmingly correlated since the chart goes all the way up to 1, which would be perfect correlation. But you can definitely see the direction that the trend is moving in. Now, this is historically significant because in the past, we were not very correlated at all. In fact, we had incredibly low correlation. That's changed dramatically recently. So what is driving this increased correlation with the stock markets? Well, I believe it's quite simple. It's the institutionalization of Bitcoin. And I think it's going to continue. For example, we're seeing options markets. They're seeing record volumes right now. So Bitcoin options on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or the CME, of course, rose by 41% to reach another all-time monthly high. We see soaring volumes in the CME as really being a sure sign that institutional money, it is flowing into the market, and that yes, they want Bitcoin exposure. Bitcoin futures contracts at the CME in fact also remain very, very popular. We also have the CEO of the Digital Currency Group, which owns Grayscale, tweeting the other day that they had a record fundraising day today for Grayscale, and that was in late June. 2 weeks ago, we also saw the New York Digital Investment Group, or NYDIG. They closed a $190 million round for a Bitcoin fund. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much institutional money coming in right now. So yeah, that bullish momentum from institutions is big, and it's mostly flowing into these more publicly tradable Bitcoin products. Now, this will continue to increase, not decrease, our correlation as Bitcoin is more treated like a stock by these big money investors. And they're treating it like a stock because they get exposure to it just like they do their other investments via their traditional avenues. They go to the CME and they can just long and short Bitcoin over there. They're already doing other stuff on the CME, so why not? You want to take out an option on it? Well, you're also doing stuff on the CME, so you do that there as well. You want to buy some Grayscale stock, you can do that. You want to invest in a Bitcoin fund, you can do that. Call up your Fidelity manager, ask them to buy a Bitcoin and throw it in your portfolio. This is Bitcoin today. It is being institutionalized. And when we get the fabled Bitcoin ETF, and it will come one of these days, that is going to seriously cement our just, long-term relationship to the institutional money crowd, and thus to the equity markets. So is this good or bad for Bitcoin? Well, honestly, I believe it's a bit of both. You see, the weird reality of the stock markets right now and their complete disconnect from economic reality has led many people to just jokingly say, hey, look, the stock markets, they only ever go up, up and away. And with the Fed now fully backstopping the entire financial market, buying corporate bonds and all the other craziness that they're doing, it's kind of becoming a reality. The stock market basically only does just go up. And Bitcoin, right now, it is riding that wave. Now you can see on this chart here just how closely correlated Bitcoin is to the S&P 500 right now. Heck, man, Bitcoin even trades flat over the weekend when the stock markets are closed. That's ridiculous. Massive institutionalization of Bitcoin. So if this holds true, then I have got good news for you. The S&P 500 just hit a golden cross. Lembo life! Yes! Look, while the golden cross is not always a perfect indicator, it has about a 65% success rate in terms of leading a market higher. Now, this could be a good indicator of where Bitcoin is going to go. Since Bitcoin is already under a golden cross, we are heading into that bigger Bitcoin cycle. Now, if stock markets continue to rally and to make new highs, then Bitcoin will likely start moving right along with it. However, gold prices are up right now as well, hitting a 9-year high of $1,817 per ounce last week. Now, according to a recent report from Kraken, Bitcoin is actually decreasing its correlation with gold, which is an interesting trend. Now, you can see the chart here. Now, that means that traditional investors, they do not see Bitcoin as a safe haven store of value like they do gold. You know, it's going to take a lot to convince the Ray Dalios of the world that Bitcoin is anything more than an instrument for speculation, especially for someone like him to actually add it as an asset to Bridgewater, right? Even Paul Tudor Jones didn't actually buy and hold physical Bitcoin, quote unquote physical. He bought Bitcoin futures. And while the Jones story was actually really, really big, what we honestly need in terms of institutional acceptance is for someone like Ray Dalio to come out and say, hey man, I got Bitcoin, I got it sitting here in my ledger. I think he might already own some Bitcoin, by the way, but I digress. Anyway, higher gold prices, what they say to me is that the big players, they are skeptical of the stock market rally. They are worried about the actions of central banks. As we know, gold has a very, very long history of being a popular investment for investors seeking a store of value against the inflationary forces unleashed by central bankers. But perhaps it is the fear regarding the uncertainty in the economy that is driving investors to gold. Now, there remains a very, very real potential for a further stock market decline as the pandemic continues to ravage the United States. I mean, Florida and Texas become absolute epicenters. A trade war between the U.S. and China, it's back on the table. The global economy remains on lockdown. 1.5 billion people are likely to lose their livelihoods globally. Millions remain unemployed in key economies like the United States and others. Almost every economy will be entering a recession this year globally. And on and on and on and on. Lots of other stuff too. You guys know the story. There's a lot to worry the investor right now. So as we stand currently, if the S&P 500 tanks, then it's probably going to take the entire crypto market right down the drain with it. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. And look, correlation, it can change very, very quickly. But for right now, we must be aware of the effect of institutional money on Bitcoin and the dangers of our flirtation with the equity markets, which is a trend that I think is only going to get worse, not better. Anyway, those are just my 2 Satoshis. Your question for today: are you bullish on the stock markets right now? Are you buying any stocks? And if so, what stocks are you buying? Or are you out there buying up index funds like the S&P 500? Curious to hear if you are getting into stocks now or not, or if you're just staying in crypto, if you're just stacking sats, you're playing with altcoins. Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, I massively appreciate your time, so thanks for coming over here and listening to this dude talk about cryptocurrencies on the internet. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.